somewhere on Earth, there is a forest where the air still carries the ghost of a nuclear blast, where the soil hums with the memory of fallout. Yet trees rise like an army reclaiming a dead world, a place that should have been silent forever, but isn't. Wind slides through skeletal branches, whispering secrets of a disaster meant to erase life itself. Every rustle, every crack beneath your boots insists that silence didn't win here. In the shadow of humanity's most powerful mistake, the forest lives, boldly, stubbornly, defiantly. This is not just a forest, it is a paradox, catastrophe braided with resilience, life insisting on existing where it has no right to be. Crossing into the exclusion zone is like stepping into a photograph that someone forgot to finish developing. The air feels thicker, quieter, as though the world is holding its breath. No engines, no human footsteps, only the steady whisper of wind through brittle trees that stand like witnesses, guardians of a memory the earth refuses to release. The soil beneath you is heavy with history. It once drank radioactive fire and still cradles its pulse. Tiny particles, invisible to the eye, sit beneath your feet like dormant sparks. Tracks cross the underbrush. Wolf, deer, boar, carving out trails through a place humanity evacuated in fear. A crow calls overhead, its voice sharp and strangely triumphant. The forest is alive in ways that feel almost rude, almost rebellious. Life didn't just survive here, it spread into every abandoned building, every cracked road, every forgotten field. It adapted to danger, to absence, to time, reshaping itself in a world where humans no longer compete. Radiation moves like a ghostly current, through roots, soil, and air. But the forest does not bow to it. Instead, it thrives in a way that feels both miraculous and unsettling. This is a landscape frozen and alive at once, a world rebuilt from the ashes of chaos. April 26th, 1986, reactor number 4 at Chernobyl tore itself open. A pillar of fire, metal, and invisible poison clawed into the sky. A radioactive cloud drifted across forests, rivers, and cities. In mere hours, the nearby pine forest, once lush and green, turned a sickly rust red. They didn't burn, they simply stopped living. Needles curled, bark split. Life halted in an instant, leaving behind a forest frozen mid-breath. The Red Forest became a monument to humanity's limits, a place where time broke and reality rewrote itself in silence. It stood as a brutal lesson. We wield enormous power and yet control almost none of it. Fallout settled like toxic snow, cesium-137, strontium-90, sifting down into soil, water, bark. Roots drank it in, leaves absorbed it. The land began to radiate with a quiet, ghostly heartbeat. Radiation became a companion woven into every molecular thread. It altered, twisted, and redefined the forest. Yet in this poisoned quiet, life began returning, not cautiously but insistently. Seeds germinated in contaminated soil, shoots pierced through earth heavy with decay, lichens clung to ruined bark. Moss softened the skeletons of fallen trees. Nature was not resurrecting the old forest. It was building a new one. By the rules of biology, this forest should be dead. Instead, pine seedlings push through radioactive soil. Ferns unfurl unfazed by invisible poison. Mushrooms, masters of survival, soak up radionuclides, becoming both healers and hazards. Birds nest in branches touched by fallout. Small mammals scurry through dens dug into contaminated earth. Every sound, the flutter of wings, the snap of twigs, is a quiet, impossible triumph. Life here is not reckless, it is determined. Every creature is a question mark. Every leaf is a contradiction. Every breath of wind reminds you that the line between survival and extinction is far thinner than we imagined. Life didn't ignore the radiation. It rewrote itself around it. Plants repair their DNA with remarkable efficiency. Trees grow through mutations, their needles twisted or pale, yet still reaching for the sun. Species shift, rearrange, weaken, strengthen, an ecological shuffle triggered by catastrophe. But one force shaped the forest even more than mutation: our absence. With humans gone, ecosystems surged into the empty space. This ecological release allowed wolves, boar, elk, and birds to reclaim territory they had lost long before the disaster. Survival here isn't proof that radiation is harmless. It is proof that life is stubborn. It doesn't need permission. It only needs the opportunity. As humans vanished, wildlife flooded back. Wolves roam the pines more densely than anywhere else in Europe. Packs hunt freely, howls echoing through the valleys like a declaration of sovereignty. Boar once overran abandoned villages, rooting through gardens and creeping into school halls. Their population later declined, not because of radiation, but due to a disease carried from far outside the zone. Lynx prowl again. Elk gather in confident herds. Deer graze where kitchen tables once stood. Even the endangered Przewalski's horses, reintroduced as an experiment, thrived beyond expectations. Their herds now trot through the radioactive quiet like living myths. Are these animals monstrous, deformed? No, most look natural, powerful, serene. But subtle signs linger. Pale feathers, clouded eyes, tiny tumors, lower survival in hotspots. Radiation leaves faint fingerprints, not grotesque mutations. This abundance exists not because the forest is safe, but because humans are gone. To nature, our absence mattered more than radiation's presence. Life thrives here, but the forest carries deep, quiet wounds. Tree rings warp like crooked timelines. Wood density twists into strange patterns. Chromosomes in certain plants look like scrambled puzzles. Missing segments, extra fragments, DNA held together with molecular improvisation. Bird eggs crack too easily. Insects vanish from the most irradiated pockets. The hum of bees is softer. Butterflies avoid certain meadows where the soil practically hums. This is not a return to normal. It is a new kind of life. Haunting, altered, resilient, damaged. Danger here has changed its camouflage. Radiation rides the food chain. Mushrooms absorb it. Boar feast on mushrooms. Wolves hunt the boar. Birds carry traces in their feathers. Nothing here escapes the invisible inheritance of the disaster. And when the forest burns, as all forests eventually do, the past rises again. Radioactive particles lift with the smoke, drifting far beyond the zone. A decades-old disaster exhales once more. The danger didn't disappear, it evolved. The nuclear forest is a glowing contradiction. Wounded but overflowing with life, dangerous but abundant. It reveals something profound. Life is resilient, but resilience is not invincibility. Nature hasn't conquered catastrophe. It has learned to live through it. This place is both scar and sanctuary, thriving and suffering in the same breath. Every creature is a testament to possibility. Every tree is an argument against the finality of disaster. It whispers a truth we rarely hear. I will endure, even in the places you abandon. Radiation will linger for centuries, long after buildings crumble, governments fall, and histories fade. Generations of trees will rise and decay before the soil is clean. Yet the forest adapts. Animals shift. Plants adjust. Birdsong carries over a landscape that should have been a grave. Here, the boundary between life and fallout is thin. Destruction and renewal walk side by side. In the shadow of a ruined reactor, the Earth writes a new chapter. One leaf, one paw print, one stubborn green shoot at a time. If this journey into one of Earth's strangest ecosystems surprised you, share it with someone who loves exploring the unseen edges of our planet. And if you want to keep uncovering the world's hidden stories, remember to like, subscribe, and tap the bell. There are more mysteries waiting in the places we've left behind.